and you are looking at the Target Center floor, 600 First Avenue North in Minneapolis. Good morning to you on Saturday. Wow, goodness gracious, it is a morning, that's for sure. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves Shootout 2015 edition here. My name is Webster Ford. I am right next to Lisl von Steinbergs, and we get the chance to give you the first two games of a four-game slate of games today. In the first game, we're going to get a chance to see the Apple Valley Eagles taking on a team from Nebraska, the number 4 team in Class A Nebraska basketball, which is, they do it a little bit differently than Minnesota basketball. Class A basketball is much more the bigger size schools, and Omaha Central out of Nebraska, and of course out of the big city of Omaha, they're here to take on the Apple Valley Golden Eagles. And Lisl, this is my first time getting the chance to work next to you, so this is a joy, and it's going to be our pleasure to bring you these two games. And as we get a chance now, we're going to take a look at these two teams. And you know a little bit more about the Apple Valley Eagles now, don't you?
I do. You know, this is a team that's really been cohesing for a long time now. Some of these guys have played together since they were young, and you will see that chemistry on the floor today. You'll definitely notice that even though some of their, like Trey Jones, for instance, Tyus's younger brother, he'll be central to their leadership, but he's been in the program and around. His brother JD is on the bench as a coach. They definitely have a family feel. And then, of course, we got Gary Trent Jr., who has been coming on for a long time. You know, they've just been waiting for him to be in the role that he's in this year, and the fruition of that is very pleasing, I'm sure, for Zach Goring.
It certainly is, and as we take a look on the camera, we see the Omaha Central squad getting their last little bit of pep talks before the game. They're led by Ben Halling. It's his first year in the helm here for the Omaha Central team, and with that, he was on the bench last year for a very successful Omaha Central team, now trying to blend that success that he saw next to the head coach last year in the head coaching position this year. And as we look at it, before we get into the keys to the game, actually, you know, we'll go into those quick keys to the game. Omaha is huge, and we'll look at their size in a little bit. And my big key, my big key for Omaha is take advantage of that size.
Exactly.
Score inside. Now, Gary Trent Jr. and a couple other folks for Apple Valley, they have relative size and they've got experience on their side. But with that said, they have the opportunity to take advantage with height, because you can't defend against height no matter what.
Yeah. And Brock Bertram is an official 7 feet, but as many have criticized, a soft 7 foot.
Yeah, that's kind of like that Kevin Garnett 7 foot. He always wanted to be 6'12", so he would not be considered that 7-footer.
Right.
Apple Valley, they're known much more for their speed, and I anticipate them to be able to push and push and push. They average over 90 points a game through the beginning of this season. What I would like to see them try to push. We're going to step away and get to that third key of the game, and we'll be back right here live on schoolsports.tv.
Connections are the heart of who we are as humans. They are the first step in our relationships with each other. Consider the instant connection between a mother and her newborn son, or the connection built between a father and his daughter over a lifetime together. Connections are the bonds that link us together as a people. They are the very fabric of communities, the seams between people in which life happens. They are the source of friendships and marriages. They are alliances, unions, and partnerships. A connection is someone who aids you. They are your contacts, your mentors, your network, your allies, sponsors, and friends. Connections are links, associations, and bonds. Connections enable commerce. They create communication and relevance. Connections in their simplest forms are important. Connections as they grow allow more possibilities. Connections at full potential create endless opportunities. We connect fans to their game. We connect sponsors to our fans. We help communities connect with one another. We are School Space Media.
We are getting the start. Welcome back to the Target Center. on schoolspacemedia.tv. I'm Webster Ford alongside Lisl von Steinbergs. We are here for game 1 of 4 games here at the Target Center. And the starting lineups are getting announced NBA style. They dimmed the lights here, and we're getting Omaha as every team that's not from Minnesota in the shootout is going to be the visiting team. They'll be announced first, and Omaha's getting their starting lineups announced first. And
what a beautiful segue to your third point of the game, which is to make sure that you don't let the big lights intimidate you.
Yeah,
you know, the spotlight's on, guys, today, but play it like your normal high school game. It might be a little longer court, but, you know, it's the same game.
And that's exactly it. You know, take a little line from Hoosiers. It's the exact same game. It's still 10 feet.
Right, exactly.
It's still 19 feet away to hit a three-point shot.
Oh.
A basket's worth 2 points. A free throw's worth 1. So that's probably the biggest key of the game. You could do offense, you could do defense, but this is a different court. This is an NBA court, where all the players here that normally play get paid the big bucks to be as cool as that other side of the pillow, as I want to try to get a couple of homages to my man Stuart Scott as well. Now, those big lights, they're shining on Apple Valley right now as we're looking at the starting lineups being counted. And you were talking before the break, Lisl, about some of the Apple Valley fruits that have been showing up in their labor, and and that's what starts that youth basketball, whether it starts at 3rd grade, at 6th grade, or wherever lower, and just watching it lend. I grew up in a basketball town, what is now a basketball town. I grew up in the town of Bram, Minnesota.
There you go.
And that youth basketball, I was part of that youth basketball when I was in 3rd grade. Apple Valley has that same setup. So
they do, and you know, the echoes of his father's name are still in the hallowed halls here of Target Center. But Gary Trent Jr. is looking to make a mark for himself and make his own impression today. Making his own impression in the starting lineup is Gary Trent Jr. He's joined by Trey Jones. That sounds pretty familiar. There's a freshman by the name of Tyus Jones, his older brother. He is no longer there, but Trey Jones, the top freshman in the state of Minnesota, is also in the backcourt with Gary Trent Jr. He's joined by Jordan Bolton, Cameron Kirksey, and Brock Bertram, that soft 7-footer. And we'll get the Omaha Central starters in a minute. You see the 7-footers not jumping. Cam Kirksey can really get up. There we go. Let's go. And the first tip is won by the Omaha Central. They have on the court Magay Agau, Christian Harmon, Kajan Jimerson, who scored 30 against De La Salle just a few weeks ago, Isaiah Poorbear Chandler, and Roman Behrens, as the first ball poked out of bounds. Yeah, these guys are going to come out aggressive. They're going to need to, because Apple Valley, though they didn't fare as well as they wanted to in the state tournament in Minnesota last year, has a big ball fed inside, but a block over top. Resetting the offense is Christian Harmon. You're rethinking that. Yeah, that soft guy can block a little bit. He may be soft, but he's going to swat it like it hard. That's for sure. And what can they do against this zone defense that Apple Valley's putting on? What they can do is almost throw it out of bounds. Exactly. It's longer. It's not much wider, guys. And the shot missed, and rebound carom down by Trey Jones. Goes off and lays it off for Cameron Kirksey. First 2 points of the 2015 Timberwolves shootout go to Cameron Kirksey. Last year, he didn't get a whole lot of playing time in this particular game, but now, true to form, getting into the starting lineup. Exactly. And like I said earlier, these guys developing from a young age together. This starting 5 right here played some traveling basketball together, played other places together, so their chemistry has been working for a long time. The Eagles of Omaha Central versus the Eagles of Apple Valley. Now a ball turned around and stuffed right into the chest of Brock Bertram. Well, and there's his critics would say, you know, as a 7-footer, you got to be tougher than that. Yep, and that's weight room time. And Brock Bertram, he's a junior. He's got some time to still devote some time to the weight room and get a little meatier to take those bruises down low. Ball fed up top, and now Apple Valley sags back into that man-on-man defense. Curious to see if they're going to continue to kind of go back and forth between that man and the zone to try to confuse the Eagles of Omaha. Ooh, denied. And what I like is when you get that rebound, you turn it into a fast break opportunity, as Trey Jones tries. Comes up short, and Chandler with the rebound. He averages over 12 rebounds a game. Ball poked away, and there's a fast break opportunity. And Bertram with a slam. Give it up to the big man. 4-0 now, a couple of minutes in. There's 18-minute halves for every game here at the Timberwolves shootout.
First game of the Timberwolves shootout today, 1 of 4. Be on hand for the first 2, and then Mike Peden will take the play-by-play call for the last 2. Dribble drive by Omaha. Comes up short. Brock Bertram got that ball poked out of his hands, but at least nicely it dropped right into his teammate Jordan Bolton's hands.
There you go. And that's the idea. You know what? If you got nothing else, you got size. Make sure you're a blockade. Off the mark, Gary Trent. Oh.
Gary Trent couldn't get that. And when I see Gary Trent Jr., I want to see a little bit more Gary Trent Sr. in here. Get a little bit bigger. Maybe shave the head so we can see a little bit more.
Shades of the past.
There we go.
But that's exactly it. I think he definitely wants to be his own player, his own person, and he's been developing his game to be a well-rounded game, one that will definitely have all the hallmarks of the education and the lineage and the heritage of his father, but also be unique to himself.
And now a ball fed inside to Bolton, and he can't get it in, but Trent can't get it either. And now Bertram gets the loose ball and lays it in. 6-0, 3 minutes into this game so far, and Omaha Central might be a little bit weary with the leg traveling as well as anything else, but right now they're putting up a goose egg on the scoreboard, seeing what the Purple Eagles, as it were, can do to break on track here.
Well, I'm sure Zach's fine with the fact they're up 6-0, but their shooting percentage from layup land is rough right now.
Those are those bunnies you got to put in. Now a dribble drive, a bunny attempt by Omaha, nothing. Tap back, and still nothing. Third time is not quite a charm, and no rebound yet. Now finally brought down by Trent.
Third key to the game factoring here. These guys are blinded by the light, maybe.
Trent up in, huge lay-in, and now it's 8-0, just under 4 minutes into the game, and at 14:07, we'll step aside. You're watching the Timberwolves Shootout, the 2015 edition on SchoolSpaceMedia.tv.
Who cares what it holds if it can't hold your gaze? Who cares how tight it can turn if it can't turn heads? Who cares how capable it is if it's incapable of creating a reaction? Any SUV can move something, but can it move you? Introducing the first ever Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Once you go beyond utility, there's no going back.
Taking a look at a couple of highlights. That last lay-in. And we're live back here at the Target Center. I'm Webster Ford, to the left of Lisl von Steinbergs. And set up lob, stuffed by the rim. Best defense may not even be played by a person today.
Right.
That orange rim still 10 feet high, and apparently not high enough for Omaha as the ball goes out of bounds. And it's 8-0. Reminder, our fans, this game is brought to you in part by Anoka Ramsey Community College and Anoka Technical College. More than just a college, a community dedicated to your success. Gary Trent Jr. looking for more success, going for the harm. Couldn't get the hoop, so he's going to get 2 free throws. Game also brought to you by the Urgency Room, with locations in Eagan, Woodbury, and Vadnais Heights. They'll have you in fast and home soon. Go to the Urgency Room. First free throw of the game today gets in. I don't know about you, Lisl, but any practice experience for me, whether as a coach or as a player, there's at least a good 15 minutes devoted every practice.
Yeah, and you know what, these guys, nowadays you put so much time in outside your regular practice time as well.
Yeah, huge putback right away as Kirksley gets the offensive rebound on the missed free throw. Now up 11-0 is Apple Valley, and now finally seeing the scoreboard. The Purple Eagles, Christian Harmon gets the first 2.
Look out, guys, they're awake.
Now, yeah, that timeout, every good coach knows when to call that timeout when he starts to see his team flailing. Good step move. Can't finish, though. Oh, Brock, you got to get in there. Had the drop step, had everything. Ooh. And now
and an offensive charge.
Trey Jones had his feet set, knew when everything was coming.
Took a little punishment, though, feeling his back there a little bit.
All for the team. All for the team.
Guy might be thin, but he's a big one, even still. 6'7", running into Trey Jones's
little freshman 6'1" frame.
Exactly.
He'll feel that tomorrow morning when he's getting ready for his weekend activities.
6-1 may be generous.
11-2 feed inside to Bertram. Can't get it the up and under, but maybe he'll get 2 points at the free throw line. What I liked on that move, Lisl, is he tried to do a little bit of that dream shake, a la Olajuwon, and he couldn't get the basket to go, but he was able to draw the defender up.
Big men shooting down at the rim. Oh, and he gets it in anyway.
Every single portion of that rim gets to be touched. Now it's 12-2. The first 5 minutes of this game, a 12-2 run. This is what I was talking about, that key for Apple Valley. Though they're not sprinting to these points, a fast start is still something that could be very hard to overcome if you're Omaha. And a ball poked about. Riley Parham checking in for Bertram. Bertram gets a Choctaw chew on the mouth guard as he goes to take a sit for a little bit. 12-2 as the ball's up top for Omaha. Their offense seems to be a little bit stagnant as they're trying to figure out whether they want to go inside to their bigs or if they want to stay outside.
Yep. They're definitely having a difficult time finding their rhythm.
And that rhythm missed complete, as if there were more Eagle Apple Valley fans, you hear an air ball chant. Ball up and under, no good. Rebound in and out of the hands of Omaha. Trying to get it back by Apple Valley, but no good.
Yeah, it's a little early for the student section to be rowdy, or even here on a Saturday morning.
That's true. Now a long rebound out to Trey Jones. Lays it up and in. Easy, making it look easy. And if he had a couple more inches, he might have been able to make that look real hard.
Swish, yeah.
14-2 with 12 to play in the first period.
Well, Apple Valley's getting out in offensive transition very well.
Ball cut out into the corner. And this, I think, is why Apple Valley is almost in a half zone, half man to try to deny that post down low. Big bump down low and a sky hook. Ramsey Adams just checked into the game, and he looked a little like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the sky hook.
That's right. He's been chomping at the bit to get it. And then just in time, Brock Bertram goes out of the game. He's got his way with things.
That's usually how it goes. You get one big out, and the other big wants to go off for a little bit. Ball in the corner. Kicked outside, and they're going to call.
Oh.
That's a good charge.
Pick. That's a moving charge, or a moving screen.
Kajan Jimerson, who went for 32 against De La Salle just a couple weeks ago in Omaha's 1-point win over De La Salle. He took that charge, and so far, any of those charges that have happened in this game have come off of the point guard.
Right.
Which, as a coach myself, I love seeing that, having that point guard getting the nose dirty a little bit.
Yep.
Freshly checked in, Austin Corba. Now, can't turn it into any offense. The charge goes right back now. 7 minutes in, 14-4. Trent setting up the offense. Now looking to go down low. A big size advantage for Trent. And can't take advantage, but a ball poked around. Resetting 10:45. Again, you are watching this on schoolspacemedia.tv. Thanks so much for jumping online to do so. Turn around and blocked.
Denied. Oh.
But that one little show that ball.
That's right. Got him jumping. Once you get off your feet, there's no control.
No, and that's it. And you could even tell that the Omaha defender was trying to get his body out of the way.
Couldn't
but there
do
was
it.
no having it. So
Couldn't
now to the line goes Ertz. Try to out a couple of points from the line.
I always encourage your kids to stay on their feet as much as possible on defense. But, you know, when looking for a big power block,
yeah,
tends to be a big draw to try to get you up in the air and make that
exactly.
ooh-ah play.
So second free throw, up and coming. And it's in. Dedicated to that free throw is Ertz, as Anoka Ramsey is dedicated to responding to the educational needs of its changing communities, providing opportunities for enhancing knowledge, skill, and values in a supportive learning environment. Anoka Ramsey Community College, with campuses in Coon Rapids and in Cambridge, more than just a college. 15-4 here.
If Omaha's going to crack this lead at all, they've got to really get something going offensively. They still don't have a good rhythm. They just don't look organized.
Ball up and under, can't get in, but if Apple Valley's going to give them extra chances by allowing offensive rebounds as they just did, this is where Omaha could get that, as now going to the free throw line. is going to be Demetrius Marable. He got the offensive rebound because no white jerseys were there.
Right. And I know Zach Goring's on them right now. Box out, box out. You know you have to be doing that. Discipline is key. Nobody wants to lose from the charity stripe.
And the cost-effective hurl goes in. Cuts the lead down to just 10, looking to trim it back to single digits. Almost had a lane violation, but got back out of the lane, bouncing.
Oh.
And are they going to call that delayed lane violation? Yep, sure did.
These target center rims are probably a little looser than what they're used to playing in high school as well.
You don't get the hard thud.
Right. It's very, very forgiving.
Perham stepped inside before the shot even went off, so now ready to go. Still can't get it, so technically 1 of 2, but really 1 of 3 from the free throw line.
Right.
That trip, still 15-5, now under 10 to go in the first half.
And when your PG is top in rebounding, you know something's going on.
Either he's hustling or you got a lot of rebounds. Long 3-ball attempt.
Nice.
Buckets. Buckets
Beautiful,
good by
beautiful.
Trent Jr. Lead is up to a baker's dozen. 18-5. Now trying to answer. This is where you never want to do that. You never want to try to answer it back and skying for a rebound but getting it poked away.
Turnovers are right
huge.
Now.
You know, Omaha, and we've talked about it a couple of times. I'll go back to that key, Lisl. This is just another basketball floor.
Exactly.
But how cool is it to play on an NBA floor? But at the same time, you know, if you're Coach Ben Halling for Omaha, maybe take a timeout soon. Go, hey, this is just another floor. And that big elbow hook. Bertram got the elbow under his defender and able to sky hook it in. Makes it 20-5 now.
Yeah, Webster, it's so true. If you're not ready for the pressure and the lights, and you see the guys kind of warming up now, but it's 8:57, 8:56 to go in the first half. You're more than a quarter of the game gone and just now getting going.
Yeah, this is like, you know, setting up for your alarm and not actually, you know, hitting it until 20 minutes later. And, you know, now Bertram goes into the line as he's down. He was down low. And just before, that first foul of the game on Jimerson, Jimerson throws his body all over the place, and he's probably the most talented player on this Omaha Central squad as the first free throw goes in, hitting nothing but the net. If I was every Apple Valley player, whoever had the ball, go towards Jimerson. Try to force that second foul, because in high school you only get 5.
Right. And these guys, again, with the big floor, with the Timberwolf mentality, they're trying to go for the big blocks, getting them off their feet, getting them in foul trouble is going to be something that they need to really be careful about.
21-7 missed free throw, but that's okay. They're getting the offensive rebounds now, Apple Valley are. I guarantee, however, I'll take the corny and cheesy way out of it. I'll guarantee an Eagle win today.
Yeah.
not really going too far on any limb.
There's some purple Eagles who want to win, and there's some white and gold Eagles who'd like to go home with a Vic. Ooh.
And a big 3-ball as now finally breaking into the double digits at the 8-10 mark are the Omaha Central Eagles. Big 3-ball there, now 21-10. Apple Valley with a few new players on the floor. Nice little layoff. And Brock Bertram goes up, under, blocked once, blocked twice. Block party down in the low block.
Telling you. And that's trouble. They need to be staying with that pump fake and remembering that, again, key to the game, Omaha's got that size. They've got to really watch what they're doing inside and make sure that they're not getting too
They want to make them antsy.
Exactly.
Apple Valley wants to make Omaha down low antsy. Draw a pump fake every single time.
Right.
Big defense now as Omaha has to reset their offense again. Spin off. What a move!
Nice.
Ooh, McKay Cow gets a little dipsy-do on it, makes it 21-12. The lead back now into single digits on a little mini 5-0 run for the Omaha Central Eagles with 7:10 to go.
Well, this run and some coffee, and the crowd's starting to get into it finally. Hey, we might have a game after all.
One spin move begets yet another spin move, and now 23-12, the lead back over the 10 mark. Omaha, that's about a 7-hour drive from down to Omaha up to here, and that's a ways if you just traveled there this morning. Bertram gets the rebound, but I would guess that most Omaha travelers came last night.
Yeah. That would have been the sensible thing to do, especially with the weather that we're having here lately.
Yeah. Maybe even came Thursday, heaven forbid.
Spend the weekend. Hit the Mall of America. You have to do it.
You know that every single one of those kids is like, man, we're like an hour away, right? An hour from the Mall of America? Yeah, every single one of them.
You're a 25-minute light rail trip, buddy. Hop on the train right outside Target Center.
There you go. 6:45 left in the first half, 23-12. Ball now in the hands of Kirksley.
Ooh.
And he tried to go up high, but it got slapped away hard. Fast break opportunity. Agao can't get the bunny, and away Apple Valley goes.
Well, I'm sure neither head coach wants to see the stats right about now. The shooting percentages are going to be terrible.
Yeah, terrible, atrocious, any other negative adjective you could possibly think of. And trying to get down low to Bertram, but nice denial down low by Ramsey Adams. Only 6'5", but he's playing like he's 8 feet tall.
There you go. And the little guy gets one to go.
Bolton gets it to nicely roll in, 25-12 with 6:05 to go. And a ball poked away.
I think he saw a purple jersey in the crowd.
Maybe?
The guy sitting courtside was like, was that for me? This is so perfect.
If I was 6 feet closer, I'd be wide open and able to shoot.
And didn't have my big fur hooded coat on still. I could get in the game. Let's go.
Gary Trent Jr. freshly back in the game and freshly swishing it through. Gary Trent Jr. averages 22 points a night for a team that scores over 90 per night, getting about a third of the team scoring. Not too bad for a guy who still can grow a little bit.
Yeah, he's young yet, and he had a 42-point game earlier this season. He's got some growing to do, but I mean, as far as a kid his age, I mean, he's in the top prospects in the nation in his class.
He is
he's understandably so.
He is one of the top sophomores, if not the top sophomore, I think, in the state of Minnesota. So that's not too bad. Now, going to the Lions Omaha, they wanted to try to get something inside, and going over top was Kirksey. Couldn't get the block, got way too much body as the first free throw goes in.
Agau's trying to do what he can for his team, but he's got his hands on his knees right now. No coach ever wants to see that.
And that wasn't the in between free throw routine. That was a coach get me a blow.
Right. I'm struggling. I'm doing the best I can, but
this is tough right now. Second free throw in, 27-14. De La Salle, they beat De La Salle. Apple Valley is in 4A compared to the 3A De La Salle squad, and I think that that little bit of difference is possibly throwing this Omaha Central squad a little bit of some fits.
Yeah, and De La Salle and Apple Valley.
Gary Trent Jr. wanted it to go, but not Bertram.
Nice drive, though.
Yeah, Bertram got it to put right back in. How can you not put a body on a 7-footer?
You have to, man. It's absolute. Again, we go back to the discipline. And when you're tired and, like you said, have tired legs from travel, discipline's a hard one. Jordan Bolton, beautiful jumper.
Smooth, cool, nice. And he dropped it like it was hot. Hey, when you need immediate medical care, get to the emergency room with locations in Eagan, Woodbury, and Vadnais Heights. They'll have you in fast and home soon. Go to the emergency room. Time out on the floor, and we'll step away. You are watching on the schoolspacemedia.tv. And we welcome you back into the Target Center. 600 First Avenue North. I'm Webster Ford, Lisl von Steinberg. This is brought to you by Anoka Ramsey. It's dedicated to responding to the educational needs of its changing communities and providing opportunities for enhancing knowledge, skill, and values in a supportive learning environment. Anoka Ramsey Community College with campuses in Coon Rapids and in Cambridge. It's more than a college. We're back to play here at the Target Center. The first game of 4 at the Timberwolves Shootout. These games have been going on since 1995-96 basketball season. Back when the Timberwolves weren't relevant, and then they went through the relevancy time, and now we're back into a little bit of irrelevance for our favorite five. Ooh. And a big old block. Oh, Cameron Kirksey. He says niet as he blocks it out of bounds. And resetting the offense from the corner. Never easy to reset your offense from the corner.
Corner's a trouble spot. All coaches hate the corner. Get out of the corner. Please get out of the corner.
And the corner is gotten out of, but we're not without getting rid of the ball. Led up to Trey Jones. Lays it up, but blocked a little from behind. Agao says, "You're not going to get it that easy, my man."
Trey Jones heard the footsteps. He was looking over his shoulder. He was not watching his target regardless. He wants no part of a gal.
Yeah, and he didn't want to have Spalding tattooed on his forehead. 31-14 with just under 4 to play here.
When going into that last time out, Apple Valley definitely showing some emotion. They're up 17, but, you know, you got to play with emotion. You got to have some type of, motivation to keep moving forward. Even though they've got a decent lead, they still got to keep pushing, keep pushing.
Dribble drive by Trent, and he gains the contact. Has to realign his headband.
A little eye poke there. A little Three Stooges defense. Yep. Got you looking.
Those are those type of defenses that you don't know how to line up during practice. How do you play that Three Stooges defense? You just get a little.
Right.
First
I don't know.
In.
A lot of practices, there's probably a lot of Three Stooges defense going on because these guys know each other. You know, when you're working against your own squad, and that's the beauty about finally getting to get some different opposition. You know, the beginning of the season, it's just like football, any other sport. You know, when you finally get to see the opposition.
You want to take a crack of somebody whose name you don't know, whose mama didn't cook you dinner the other night.
Right.
33-14 off a couple of made free throws by Gary Trent Jr. With 3:30 left in the first half.
He's trying to be big. Look at him.
Coming down. He is man in the paint.
That's right.
I think Omaha and Jimerson got a bit away from a travel there, it looked like. But
yes.
Lots of purple parents here. Has a nice dribble drive by Chandler. Chandler, who averages 15 to 20 a night. That's his first bucket with 15 minutes into the game.
I'm telling you, 3 minutes to go in the first half is too late for you to have your first points. As a leader, as someone who the team's looking to, you've got to strike early. You said that in our pregame as well. You know, early and often, they're not getting it right now. At least they're starting to settle in, though, so I'm sure Ben Holling's pleased with that.
You know, but is it too late?
Well, we'll have to see.
Air ball, Bertram right there, though, and he lays it right back with a nice right-handed hook. The lead has ballooned to 19. The lead itself has a 3-point lead on Omaha. 2.5 to play. Looking to try to drop a couple dimes to make it a little easier.
Well, you know, you can always have a game that's a tale of two halves, so you can't call the game now, clearly, but it's just tough. The momentum swings so far have not gone for Omaha.
Needing just even a break. It's now getting out of the corner. As you're saying, Lisl, get the heck out of the corner.
Yep.
As Omaha now trying to recycle their offense.
Well, credit to Apple Valley. They're definitely keeping them off balance. They're, using the length that they do have. Look, another tip away right there. Gary Trent Jr. causing that.
And Trey Jones trying to get it. He is down on the floor. He's back up, but he is going to be the one that's intimidated by the feet. And you could even hear those way up here, atop section 130 where we sit. And defense a little bit lagged there, but you can't get away with that defense where you sag off of an offensive player so far.
Oh, followed by a turnover.
Oof.
Zach Goring's pacing. Don't blame him. I'd be pacing too.
Yep.
And what I'd be doing.
And I think if Zach Goring had a touch more hair, I think he probably would be pulling a little bit more of it out.
You know, you can tell Ben Holling's in his first year. He's got a lot of hair.
The sign of a true coach, how much hair he has. 1:20 left in the first half. It's 35-16.
Ooh, coming off that screen, you missed the roll, hon. Oh, that's tough.
Ball poked around, loose ball. He got the ball. He got it right in his hands, but it was on the S of the Timberwolves logo, and unfortunately for him, that's an out of bounds. 1:13 and a timeout called on the floor. Fans, these games today are brought to us in part by Anoka Ramsey Community College and Anoka Technical College, where they're more than just a college, a community dedicated to your success. Hey, if you have an accident, okay. Locations in Eagan, Woodbury, and Vadnais Heights. They'll have you in fast and home soon. Go to the urgency room. And Anoka Technical provides the opportunity and the tools to get our dream on track. Get an associate's degree helping you toward a 4-year degree. Anoka Technical has 35 career programs to help you achieve your dreams. Getting a chance to take a look at some of the extra highlights from the game. Apple Valley has pushed it just as one of that big key for Apple Valley. Again, not really sprinting, but trying to be that lead dog in this race, or well, really the lead eagle in this race as a tale of two eagles. With 1:13 left, they have pushed it hard through so far and up by 19.
Just like football, capitalizing on turnovers is everything.
And at Omaha Central just turned the ball over. It was a team rebound, but still you could count it as, in a sense, a turnover because you're giving the ball back to Apple Valley without really them having to try. 3-ball open, opportunity, buckets!
Way to slice and dice in that zone. Execution, perfect on that. And
in a zone, you're going to have those opportunities if there's a poor rotation off of one side, and that's exactly what happened for Apple Valley and Jordan Bolton.
Winding down our last minute here, and Apple Valley's up 22.
38-16, and Apple Valley goes back into the man-on-man defense. It's floating shot up and no good, but a loose ball foul. Loose ball foul down low.
Brock Bertram getting his hands up and adjusting that shot.
Riley Parham, his first foul, or his third foul rather, only 14 fouls. That shows a lot of discipline as now Omaha set up. I thought they were going to try to pull that trigger on that wide open three.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, discipline or either our 3-man referee crew is kind of still not quite awake either.
We'll
see what they call the game like the second half.
They need a cup of coffee as well. Back now sagging into a 2-3 zone. Looks like Omaha's going to hang for one shot here. No shot clock in high school basketball except for in a possible all-star game. This is not one of those. Trey Jones, a steal and a lay-in.
Nice
he
finish.
Did not get intimidated by those footsteps. And the clock winding, and there's your horn. It is 40-16 at halftime. Apple Valley coming out to a big push so far.
Yeah, and this is actually under, I mean, as terms of halftime, what they would average. They're putting up big numbers this year.
Yeah, a team averaging 95 points a game right now. If this game were to pan out exactly one half to another, it'd be 80 points. So we'll take a look at stats and we'll get some sideline interviews, but we'll step away first. You are watching the Timberwolves Shootout live on schoolspacemedia.tv.
You're watching the 2015 Timberwolves Shootout, brought to you by School Space Media and Stream Powered Productions. This game is brought to you in part by Anoka Ramsey Community College and Anoka Technical. It's more than a college. It's a community dedicated to your success. And by the Urgency Room, with locations in Eagan, Woodbury, and Vadnais Heights. They'll have you in fast and home soon. Go to the Urgency Room. The halftime show is coming up next.
Who cares what it holds if it can't hold your gaze? Who cares how tight it can turn if it can't turn heads? Who cares how capable it is if it's incapable of creating a reaction? Any SUV can move something, but can it move you? Introducing the first ever Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Once you go beyond utility, there's no going back.
And welcome back into the Target Center, the first game of 4 games of the 2015 Minnesota Timberwolves Shootout. My name is Webster Ford. I am the play-by-play analyst. I am alongside Lisl von Steinbergs, and a big half for the Apple Valley Eagles. Apple Valley in Class 4A basketball here in Minnesota. They're taking on Omaha Central, another Eagle squad. They're in Class A basketball, number 4 in the state of Nebraska. But right now, the number 2 team in Class 4A in the state of Minnesota, showing a little bit different brand of basketball so far, as they're up by a big margin. 24-point lead, 40-16 at half, Lisl.
Yeah, we talked about keys to the game beforehand, and it definitely appears that the big lights, the bright lights of the Target Center have their impact, and unfortunately not in such a good way. The shooting percentages the first half for both teams, even Apple Valley, were just not what the coaches would like to see. Missing.
And as we start to step away, taking a look at the highlights, big thing, we saw Trey Jones and Gary Trent Jr. were the big 2 main stars of the game so far. I mean, Trey Jones hasn't led the way offensively, but he's led the way defensively. Already 3 steals through the game.
And he's distributing well. That's what he's charged with doing, and he's doing that.
Yeah, and Bertram, he's showing his muscle down low, though we've talked about needing a little bit more muscle. And back to Trent Jr.
He's a big finish by Trent, yep.
And what we've seen from Omaha Central so far, when they have the opportunity to shoot, when the defense is allowing, they're getting it on.
And there you see again, getting out in transition, getting out that offensive break is really working for Apple Valley. And Trent buries a 3. Not typically what they like to see more 3s, but Bolton's got 1, Trent's got 1, and I'm sure you'll see more of that in the second half too. If Omaha tries to crack down inside, then Apple Valley's going to go big outside, and they can really hurt you from the perimeter when they're on.
And then back to my key of the game, thinking about Apple Valley's speed, they have showed it every so often, especially on fast breaks, but really even just in how they're moving, it seems that they're moving much faster, as you see Trent nailing another shot. Trent at the half so far, he's got a good amount of points. He's already got 10, accounting for 25% of his team's production.
Yep. And then you got Bertram with 12. He's just cleaning the boards for them. So looking over the shooting percentages as we predicted, totals from the floor, they're going 16 to 32. That's 50%.
Not terrible from the floor, but think about all the opportunities missed inside.
Exactly, and also the layups in transition. Missing those is absolutely not acceptable.
Absolutely not acceptable. And we'll just quick take, before we break, talking about the abysmal shooting percentage, 20% from the field for Omaha. That's what spells a 40-16 halftime deficit for the Omaha Central Eagles. It is 40-16, and we'll step away. You're watching the Minnesota Timberwolves 2015 Shootout on SchoolSpaceMedia.tv.
Get the best values at Village Chevrolet. Village Chevrolet has the largest selection of the new 2015 Tahoe and Suburban models in the Twin Cities. Visit villagechev.com. Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Connections are the heart of who we are as humans. They are the first step in our relationships with each other. Consider the instant connection between a mother and her newborn son, or the connection built between a father and his daughter over a lifetime together. Connections are the bonds that link us together as a people. They are the very fabric of communities, the seams between people in which life happens. They are the source of friendships and marriages. They are alliances, unions, and partnerships. A connection is someone who aids you. They are your contacts, your mentors, your network, your allies, sponsors, and friends. Connections are links, associations, and bonds. Connections enable commerce. They create communication and relevance. Connections in their simplest forms are important. Connections as they grow allow more possibilities. Connections at full potential create endless opportunities. We connect fans to their game. We connect sponsors to our fans. We help communities connect with one another. We are School Space Media.
Who cares what it holds if it can't hold your gaze. Who cares how tight it can turn if it can't turn heads? Who cares how capable it is if it's incapable of creating a reaction? Any SUV can move something, but can it move you? Introducing the first ever Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Once you go beyond utility, there's no going back.
There you see Apple Valley's, and there you see Apple Valley squad coming in from what is the Timberwolves and what I'm more used to, the Lynx entrance. The Omaha Central League is also coming in right behind them. And we welcome you back into the Target Center on SchoolSpaceMedia.tv. My name, Webster Ford. I am to the left of Lisl von Steinberg. And we're at halftime, 40-16. The Apple Valley Eagles on top of the Omaha Central Eagles. And before we went to break, we were talking about stats. And oh my goodness, you know, we were in the break. We were talking, Lisl. There's a big disparity in a few particular spots, and especially three-point field goal percentage. Right now,
90%.
A 90% disparity, where right now the Eagles of Apple Valley are at 100% from the three-point line. Granted, they've only shot 2.
But still,
but
you know, that's my point going into the break. You know, before we even had these in hand, you know, they can be deadly from outside, and Omaha's really got to watch that.
Yeah, and speaking of deadly, a deadly, atrocious.
Their shooting percentage is dead.
Yeah, a three-point shooting percentage of 10%, 1 of 10 from the three-point line, and it's something that we can, that the Omaha Central Eagles can in fact fix, but it's got to be taking some discipline. And as we get ready here, I take a look down towards the sidelines, and we're going to head down towards the visiting entrance. As we have Don Ackerman getting ready with a couple of fans, and he can head on out to him.
All right, hey, found some super fans here, and I thought I'd have them preview the game that they're here to see. They're also here and get their feedback on the first half they've seen so far. Tell me what you've seen and what you think.
I think Apple Valley's playing a really good game, Minnesota team, and I think Omaha Central needs to step up their game if they're going to come back and have a chance.
All right, and tell me a little bit about the team you're here to see.
Oh, we're here to see Champlin Park. They're #1 in the state, just beat Apple Valley a few weeks ago, and we're really excited to see them. Just want to watch a few games for them, though.
Do you find yourself rooting for a Minnesota team even though you're a Minnesota team?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I don't like these guys coming in here. Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
And for Apple Valley, it'll be Trent Jr.
Well, and thank you, Don. Look like a couple of festive fans down there, and showing their patriotic pride as we're getting ready for the second half.
I wish it was July 4th.
It sure doesn't feel like July 4th. A balmy 5 below 0 is what I saw past the nearest bank clock that I passed when I was coming down south here. And
okay, it's nice to think about summer, though.
That is true. And
talking about these shooting percentages one more time, though, Magai Gal responsible for 6 of those attempted three-pointers, and I think that's just a symptom of them settling for all that they could get. Again, credit to Apple Valley's defense. That
quick a foul down low as Apple Valley trying to set up camp down low, as we were talking about at half, trying to do that as we'll go back into those stats a little bit.
Yeah, you know that when you have to settle in your offense, that you're obviously, we talked about, they just weren't in rhythm. Hopefully they can come out with a whole fresh look here. Ooh, Cam
and a
Kirksey.
travel. Ooh, Cam Kirksey. Got a little happy feet on him, and apropos for the outdoor weather, a happy feet type of penguin move, and turns the ball over.
Not a good way to start the half.
20 seconds into the second half. Apple Valley still maintains that 24-point lead. Omaha would love to trim it every trip down the floor. But I see a lot of the...
Ooh, look at that roll.
I see a lot of the same stagnant motion so far, even just this first few seconds of offense for Omaha.
Right.
They need to be moving.
Right, and they're not capitalizing on the pick and roll. And again, credit to Bertram. You know what? He's a big body. If you can do nothing else, be a blockade. And he is. He's absolutely blocking the guard's vision. That post is wide open, but they're not finding him.
Three-point ball up and no good. Bertram gets a big rebound, a long outlet pass.
Bolton.
And Bolton, stop, pop, can't get it. Ball caromed around,
Ooh.
and they're calling a foul on that? I guess so.
Josh Thorough believes it is.
And Cam Kirksey. He was trying. He just couldn't get that position with that right arm to get the ball into his gut, really. So it still remains 1 minute in, 40-16, and Chandler can't get the lay in.
Well, they're not improving their field goal percentage yet this half.
Trent Jr. also not improving his field goal percentage. Rebound squeezed down by the 12 rebound per night Chandler. And
Chandler's a big body too.
He is a big fella, and he seems to be a little bit quicker moving too. And another bunny, a floater, floated out, and a ball floated up to Trent Jr.
Oh, no.
Ball on the floor, looking like a fool with the ball on the floor, but they regain it.
Showing a little bit of frustration here. Oh, Bertram trying to get big and slap the ball.
And he gets it in.
Oh.
Bertram, he says, to heck with this
soft boy image.
I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to play like a man among these boys today, and it's 42-16. He's the lead dog right now with 14 for Apple Valley.
Well, he's shutting us up, isn't he?
3-point ball missed. Offensive rebound to Gow. Turn, face. He says, I don't care, you're 7 feet. I'm laying it in.
That's right. Well, he's got that Kevin Garnett body type.
That
and that
long,
was definitely
lanky.
A KG nod right there in that move.
And an offensive foul? Nope, just a ball tipped out of bounds. 2 minutes into the second half, the lead maintains the same, 24 points rather, but 2 points exchanged for both squads. Agao turns and faces. He's like KG meets Duty Eby, and hopefully none of the.
Oh boy, don't even say that name.
Hopefully none of the disappointment. And a big old block. Oh, Bertram.
Rejected.
A float and a nice little power dribble.
Nice.
Perfect. And it looks as though. Oh, I thought I saw the hands on the shoulders like a timeout was about to be called, but never mind. I'll take that back.
Well, he's used quite a few.
Yeah, he's only got 2 left. As Agao kicks it outside.
There's another trouble with starting slow. You force your coach to use those timeouts, even if you do make it a close game. 3 ball.
And a 3 ball by Roman. Maybe that's where something needs to happen. The lead trims down to 23 as it bloated to 26. Trent Jr., I think a much better ball handler than his father ever was.
Ooh.
He wasn't that much of a ball handler. He was a bruiser down low.
Looking inside out.
And you know what? The clock at this point with a 23-point lead is your best friend.
Oh.
Turn, face.
Bertram, self-defense.
Chandler gets that back behind soft block. 3-point shot. Good.
Wow. Hey, you're trading 3s for 0s. You're gonna catch up quick.
That's gonna trim into that lead, and now the lead down to 20 with 14.5 to play. That was a Christian Harmon 3 ball as he balloons his scoring total up to 5. Trent Jr. gets blocked, but he also gets a high 5. And albeit that's nice in the whole sportsmanship conduct, you can't do that during the gameplay. So to the line will Trent Jr.
His head. He got elbowed.
Fans, thanks so much for tuning in. You're watching this game today on SchoolSpaceMedia.tv. Don't forget you can watch this game online at SchoolSpaceMedia.tv, but you can also buy it on DVD form from the production partner Stream Powered Productions. Head to stream-powered.com to order. First free throw is up and in. Trent Jr. nails the second one.
There you go. You have to convert from there.
There's no defense. They call it a free throw for a reason. Kind of this 3/4 court trap now put on by the Apple Valley Eagles.
Oh, and the Omaha guards do not like the pressure.
They couldn't do it. Nice spin move up in, and it's good.
Nice. Woo-wee. Okay, look out. They're coming back.
Broke that little press, the trap. And Agao up and under. When the offense breaks that, you're going to get the chance to get a nice easy layup. And this time, compared to a few times earlier in the game, that was able to go in.
Right.
3 ball, Gary Trent Jr.
Hey, you know what, Webster? Maybe these guys thought we were playing like the Timberwolves 4 quarters today.
Yeah, maybe.
They just took their time getting started.
Everyone's waking up a little bit.
Right.
I think that wake-up call at probably 6 o'clock at the local Marriott or whatever probably didn't suit these high schoolers too well.
Well, you know, and these guys, they're typically playing 8, 9 o'clock at night, not 8, 9 in the morning. So.
And then up and under, a rebound put back by Gary Trent Jr. looking to be the player of the game today.
Look at Omaha now. They're trying to return that favor to get out in transition as well. It didn't work out well for them, but good for them for getting that. Oh, all
we got a 3-on-none, and Nagao barely able to slam it, get those fingers up over the rim. I mean, I can't see anything. I could barely touch the net, but he was able to get it up and under to lay it for a nice small dunk. 53-26 with 12:45 to go, and you can't leave Trey Jones that open. He won't miss all the time. He missed that time. Trent Jr. with the rebound.
Nice.
And that offensive rebound is almost the exact same as the turnover.
It's a signature move for Trent as well.
He's been seeing it for a while. Ball lobbed up over to Gao, who breaks the press. And that, you'll take that matchup every time.
He just slipped on the floor, lost his balance. Something happened there.
If you ask the ESPN anchors, it's because the Minnesota Wild also play here.
We try not to use the same floor, though. Oh, no.
And an up and under got stuffed by the rim. You always want to use that rim as an extra blockade away from people, but he couldn't. I think he forgot where he was. And a front rim miss. And now Apple Valley, as you see Trey Jones put his hand down and say, okay, we can slow it up. We're under 12. We're up by 27.
Zach Gorin giving him the stir the pot motion over there.
Going, hurry up now. 3-point ball, Trent, no good. And a good idea to not go for that rebound by Kirksey. He could have poked it, but no good. Now a dribble drive.
Right
almost
at
tires
the
Jones in a big old lay-in. He gets thrown to the ground, a hoop and a harm opportunity. Oh, Christian Harmon came to play.
Yeah, that's a smart move right there, though. Brock Bertram's not going to be able to get out of way in time, and he didn't have his feet set, so taking the contact and he finishes, beautiful move.
And a fire sale change for both squads. Because, I mean, you look at Apple Valley, they played in the state tournament the last couple of years, 4th place last year, state champion the year before that. But this Omaha Central team, they haven't played on a court that the Timberwolves have played on. So I know, regardless of, at one point or another, you're going to say, I want all my kids to get a chance to get a blow on this floor. And a missed free throw, so no 3-point play, ball poked out of bounds, and it remains Omaha ball.
Well, and Zach Goring up 25 can do that. He can let some of his kids have a look at it.
Say, hey, I played up this floor. I played on the same floor Simone Augustus played on. I mean, played on the same floor that Ricky Rubio sits on the bench on.
Oh.
Ball poked away, and now a foul on the freshly checked in Chance Hall.
Webster, we don't need to be depressed. It's Minnesota in the winter. Please don't go there. We try to be hometown fans and heroes.
We want Ricky to get back on the floor.
ASAP.
He looks great and dapper in that suit, but we want him in a pair of basketball shorts. Ball fed inside to the freshly checked in Aaron Ertz.
Off the mark.
Well off the mark. Now at 11:15 to go.
I love the energy by Omaha, though. They're definitely looking to attack. They've come out a completely different team this half.
And Jimerson, they've got the energy. Now they need to start matching that with getting a couple of buckets to fall. It's like the lid is just placed hard on the rim right now, and they just can't get a break.
Right, and if they do get a break, unfortunately, there's no consistency to it. They've gotten one here, one there, but sporadic buckets aren't going to do it for them. They've really got to get consistent both ends of the floor.
And they're looking to try to put a full court trap on. To heck with the press. They want the trap.
That's right.
And that's what's going to cause turnovers. Almost getting one right away, as getting trapped in that unforeseen corner is Steve Christensen.
See what Jordan Bolton can do with it. Nice decision.
Gets it across the floor to break the
give
press.
And go.
And now down to Ertz down low. Gets that pump fake, but a little bite, but not enough. As a nice block put on by Omaha. Kicked outside to Polk for 3.
Ramsey was waiting on that. He was like, yeah, go ahead, put that up. I got that.
You go ahead and try. I'll jump, but I'll keep my arm back until you put the ball out. Ball goes out of bounds off the air ball. And that was Marcus Polk's first attempt of the game. First attempt ever at the target center. And good floor awareness to not put your foot down on the other side of the half-court line, but then you got to look to whom you're throwing there, my man. Ball laid up. Kajan Jimerson, no basket. He's going to go to the free throw line for a couple of free throws.
He's struggling today. You can see it. He's shaking his head going to the free throw line. He's having a rough go. He needs something to get in for him.
And this is that confidence builder or confidence breaker spot from this 15 feet away from the rim. No one guarding you.
He's taking a full deep breath, looking at the rim. And finishes. That feels good right there.
Gets that first one to go in.
Maybe that's the thing that'll take the lid off the saran wrap, so to speak.
Or at least, yeah, ease it a little bit to possibly be able to break it. So now the lead back down to 24, which is what it was to start the half. 10:34 to go, and the second one also in. Jimerson needed that.
Yeah.
He scores a bunch, and he hasn't scored much today. He's at 3. So almost traveled at Apple Valley. Now wide open. Good idea to not take that 3.
Webster, he's still got more fouls than points.
Yeah. That's
I mean, as a scorer, that hurts.
That's not a balance that's not an imbalance you want.
Oh, and a good steal.
Perfect pass.
Here it comes.
But right to Jimerson. Jimerson draws the contact. He's going back. He stopped. He waited. He waited for Christensen to get there. And then he said, okay, now I will lean into you. Now he's going to go to the free throw line.
And you can just see how tight he is right now. I mean, that's just, when you're a scorer, your best bet is to be loose, relaxed. Right now you can see the nerves.
He's not playing his top game right now. And
it's carrying over now to the free throw. Oh.
As we take a look, we look back at that. He was right in the right spot for that. And here he comes waiting. And, yeah, he just let Christensen get there first.
Yep. And then he's mad. He slaps the ball, but, too late. And then you miss your first free throw because you're still frustrated.
Yep.
And the second
one because it carried over. And Christensen
in your
with
head,
the rebound.
buddy. Get him out of your head. Or it's going to be a tough night here. Oh, tough morning, should I say.
Either way, yeah, we're at 10 minutes left. We're just after 10 o'clock Central Time. Ball floated up, rebounded. Trying to get a one-armed rebound was Ertz.
Bodies flying.
And now back in the game is a Gal. Kind of one of those, all right, you had your chance. Now we're going to try to get back into chipping into this. As now Coach Halling is getting a couple of his more PT peers back on the floor. Jimerson on with the ball. Drawing the tough charge of guarding him is Jaquan Robinson. Dribble drive. What a spin. A float. Oh, 2 out of 3 ain't bad according to Meatloaf. But when that third one is missing or making the shot, you need the third one, my man.
Gotta have it.
Remains 55-32.
You're gonna hit the mark here pretty soon where the time is gonna be your enemy. On top of the Apple Valley defense.
Yeah. When you're going, that's like playing 5-on-3 then in a sense, or 7-on-5. Either way, it's not a fair advantage. And at right now, 9:26, you're already starting to get with the lead as large as it is. You're already getting close to that part.
That's right. You're gonna have to start looking to be cut through at both ends of the floor. Absolute pressure defense the rest of the way. Ooh.
Ball lost control by Trent Jr., but he got fouled on the way up by Jimerson.
That's his 4th.
And he is just full of frustration.
Well,
they're going to call it not on Jimerson. Never mind. They did call it on Jimerson.
Yeah, and
4 fouls.
You know what? When you've got a scorer in that position, I mean, he can't help but be frustrated, but at the same time, this is where that growing into the college player, that growing into the NBA player, they have to be able to.
And Jimerson's a junior. So, I mean, he's been here before, and he's a scorer on this team. First free throw, by the way, was made. And you see Jimerson go back to the bench, head and hands, and just mad. Ball up and blocked. Oh, Christensen got a little bit of a tip on it. Gary Trent Jr. has some numbers up, under,
nice
and he
move.
contorts his body like the halftime show contortionist, and he lays it in. 9 minutes to go.
Thinking he might get a soft tip, but no. Trent's going off hard.
He contorted his body to get away from any contact, any block, and he laid it in. Makes it 26 points for the lead and 22 points for Gary Trent Jr. now.
Well, he's got his average for today, and there's 8 minutes and almost 50 seconds to go. You think he's going to break that mark?
I think he'll go above it. He might increase his scoring average tonight.
I don't know if he's going for 42 today, but
hey, that's okay. That's fine. And now we're trying to trap the youngster up on the top. Kicks it back over to Harmon. And Behrens gets it. He's a freshman starter, is Behrens, number 55.
And he looks it. He's got the baby face, but he's playing big today. He's being aggressive, trying to attack the rim, trying to do
Gow with the attack. And he lays it in.
I don't know if he was pointing at Bolton or what he's doing running down the floor.
I don't think he was sure. Bolton tried to get it. Christensen can't get it once, but hey, you know what they say, third time's a charm, makes it 60-34. Christensen Lots of work.
Ooh.
Ball tip ball by Trey Jones. One freshman blocks another. And on the break goes Jones, and they're going to call a charge. He was set up for a while. That was Harmon. We'll take a look at it. He gets nice and set, even outside the NBA charge zone. Oh, that was a perfect setup by Harmon.
Yep, and that's where Trey Jones got to have that discipline to stop and pop.
Yep, or, take that Euro step to the side.
Exactly.
Because he knew that it was coming.
Clear the contact,
He
boy.
saw it set. Heck, Stevie Wonder could have saw that set. Step under and no good, but to the line goes Jordan Flowers. See if he can bloom a couple of extra points for his team.
Yeah, how is it being a boy with the name Flowers?
The things that immediately came to my head, I don't think are able to be said, even though we're even broadcasting this on the internet.
Yeah.
So we'll just we'll leave that one go as
Flowers misses the first.
He couldn't quite.
It's because you were talking about him, Webster. He heard you.
Well, it happens. I'm not, and they say I'm not a quiet fella. So 7:40 to go in the second half. Missed first free throw. Second free throw in. Trims it to 25.
They shot better than Apple Valley percentage-wise from the free throw line the first half. 75% to Apple Valley 60, but they're just struggling overall. I think Omaha's having a tough day.
Trey Jones up under. What a nice give as he's just dropping into the lane. Paves the way. And Trey trying to say, Coach K, I want to come out there too. Coach K, look at me. And the ball poked away. That's good defense, a good hustle, but goes right into the hands of Apple Valley, or of Omaha rather. And to the line again goes Jordan Flower.
No. They called a charge.
They called a charge.
Trey Jones, he said, I can take it and I can give it. There you go.
27 points is the lead off the most recent Trey Jones lay-in. Easy basketball coaching tip for any of your players. When you have a player who's going to inbound the ball, make sure the person who's getting the ball thrown into him knows that the ball's coming. Trey Jones.
What do you mean, we're supposed to make eye contact or something?
Step back, pop, no good. Gary Trent Jr. misses, but an offensive rebound and a put up by Kirksey. The lead has now ballooned to 29. Lisl, you were talking about that time frame.
Man, you know what? 6 minutes and 45 seconds. It's a miracle at this point. But hopefully, but as a coach, what you're talking about with your guys is pride, and you have to do something right now to earn your respect back.
Quell the bleeding a little bit. Play for that team on the front of the jersey. 3-point ball up and no good. Rebound by the freshman, but poked away. Gary Trent Jr. said, I want the ball, but I got the freshman instead.
But you know what? We're going to be in the bonus here. And
yep, now we take the long walk. Take a look at that. We talked about it in the first half. At about the 3-minute mark of the first half, there were only 4 fouls for Apple Valley. At the 6.5-minute mark for Apple Valley, they have 8 fouls. Yep. And for the rest of this game, any foul that's called will be sending any Omaha Central Eagle to the line.
That's right. So the smart play by Ben Holling will be attack, 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 and see if we can get it back from with the time stopped. I mean, there's no better way to score.
But you got to hit those free throws, and the freshman couldn't bank in the first one, so he did not gain the bonus. In high school basketball, of course, fouls 7 through 9 allow a 1-and-1 opportunity. Ball put inside and pushed out of bounds. Pushed out of bounds by Christian Harmon was Gary Trent Jr. Had that arm right in the abdomen. And albeit that'd be fine if that was maybe that midsection of his back. But science went away from Christian Harmon. 3-point ball. Gary Trent Jr. can't get it. Right there is Bertram Brock. Bertram rocks it in. The lead is now over 30 with under 6 to go. We take a look at last year's performance at the shootout over Blue Valley Northwest. Apple Valley won 72-59. So a huge game for them last year. Yeah. And it seems as though this game, huge, may not be a big enough superlative to say how they're playing so far.
Right. Well, they just caused another unforced error, a turnover by Omaha. It's clear that Omaha's definitely off their game.
And Brock Bertram gets underneath the 2-3 zone, and you let the 7-footer be 2 feet away from the basket. That 7-footer is going to win that battle.
Well, and Christian Harmon just backed up. He was like, okay, you got it.
Yep. And Ramsey Adams gets a little sky hook. to bring it back to 31. 5.5 to go. If you trade buckets, you're going to end up on the unfortunate end of this if you're Omaha Central.
Yeah, this is, again, no time to be...
NBA 3 distance, not good for Apple Valley. Rebound out. Now putting it up to Kajan Jimerson, and he floats it.
His first field goal.
Hey-o.
5:05 to go in the game.
And now Gary Trent Jr., he went right back down. Nobody was there. Transition defense can't allow that to happen if you want to allow yourself back in the game. Under 5 to go, 70-39. This Apple Valley squad looking to be closer to that team that averages 95 a night. Jimerson setting up the offense with the left hand. Float, dribble, no good. Right back up. Go right back up, son. Can't get it to go. Block, Bertram. We got a runner in Trent Jr. Waiting for the contact, and he slams it down. And he gets the nasty stare down. He says, Buenos dias, welcome to Minnesota. Crossover dribble kickoff now to Harmon. Long three. Oh, son, you don't need to sit outside the NBA 3. It's not worth anymore if you shoot farther away.
You know, and that's got to be confusing for these guys, too, because they're not used to playing on a court that's got the lines marked for both.
Let alone the color difference.
Right.
Ball poked away. 5-on-2.
There we go.
3-point ball.
There we go.
Good.
Yeah.
The freshman, Roman Behrens, a 6-foot freshman. That's not even fair. As there's a timeout on the floor. With that timeout, it's 3:51 to go, 72-42. Fans, this game brought to us in part by Anoka Technical. They provide the opportunity and the tools to get our dreams on track. Get an associate's degree helping you toward a 4-year degree. Anoka Technical has over 35 career programs to help you achieve your dreams. It's 72-42 here at the Minnesota Timberwolves 2015 Shootout. These games are also brought to you by the Urgency Room. You have an accident, sports injury, or just not feeling well? Don't wait. Get to the Urgency Room in Eagan, Woodbury, or Vadnais Heights. Go to urgencyroom.com to view wait times and to check in online. That's urgencyroom.com. And the most comprehensive high school sports show in Minnesota on TV and online. Join Tori Holt and Chrissy Wendell for Minnesota Prep Spotlight on 45 TV every Saturday night at 11 p.m. and watch every show on demand at schoolspacemedia.tv. Schoolspacemedia.tv is from where you're watching this currently. You can also order a DVD of this game or any of the games today online from that website. And ball blocked.
Zach Goring has gone to development mode here. He's got his young ones out there. He's got his bench guys out there.
So now on the floor for Apple Valley, we have Sam Wubichette, Steve Christensen, Austin Korba, Aaron Ertz, and Riley Parham, who's about to get a three-point ball shot opportunity, no good. Rebound for Ertz. He's going to go back up, and he's going to get a bucket on the target center floor. He had one free throw point earlier. Now he's got a good old field goal from about 2 feet away. Up, under, ooh, gets the friendly roll. Target center finally says, hey, welcome. Our rims are a little softer now. 74-42, a 32-point lead.
It's a little late.
And a big old block.
They needed the welcome right away.
Yeah, and the welcome mat wasn't rolled out, but you know what? This is where now, again, you talked about it before. Play for pride. Play still as though, you know the game is a little bit out of hand. And as a high schooler, you don't want to hang your head. This is where coaches become life coaches too. Right. Sometimes you got to figure out how to make the best of the opportunity as a travel happens off of Riley Parham's feet.
Well, you traveled all this way. I mean, you have to make the most of the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And you're always trying to improve. For you, this is not the end. This is not a state tournament. This is not, the final dagger in your coffin, so to speak. So make it worth your while.
And an unforced error there, mistake the left foot on the out-of-bounds line. And then you go, duh.
Webster, I told them at the beginning of the game, it's longer, it's not wider.
Yeah, it's still the same width. The killer's length of the court would hurt more. But if you had them doing the width of the court, it's still about the exact same.
Yep.
So it's 2:50 left. 30 points is the margin of the deficit right now that Omaha Central faces, the lead that Apple Valley maintains.
Sometimes if you see teams going back and forth in a lot of transition, a lot of breaks, the conditioning can be a factor with the extra court length. But today we haven't really seen that.
Nice little spin move by Christensen. Stop, pop. A little bit of a heel click and a happy man heel click and a bucket in as it's 76-34. 2:20 to go, and it's been, it hasn't, I wouldn't say utter domination or anything like that. Big outlet pass opportunity. There you go. Now kicked outlet, but forgot the ball, son. Ball kicked up now. Gets some contact on a hard pump fake, and even now a second wave of
third string?
Younger kids coming in, basically saying.
Fourth string?
Yeah. we're in Apple Valley where.
What do you mean play? Coach, what do you mean? I don't do that.
Coach, this shooting shirt, I'm used to wearing this, Coach. What?
It's stuck.
What do I do? Coach, am I going to sweat? I forgot to put deodorant on.
No, oh God.
Here it comes. So now a brand new, fresh set of white jerseys coming in. We'll try to get those names so they can at least get their names on the air as well. 2 minutes left. We've got Miles Hendrickson looking a little like Silas from the Da Vinci Code on the floor. Ball rebounded by Riley Parham, the lone remainder from the previous set of folks. Jaquan Robinson in. Parham with the ball. Isaiah Hall has it. And Parham just wants to get a little more playing time. He's going to get another foul.
You know?
So now he can't get subbed for.
This is a smart way to play if you don't want to come off the floor.
Exactly. Coach, I'm going to just drive, and they're going to foul me.
He has a timeout left, though. I'm warning you.
He's got two.
As a coach, we've done that before. We've used a timeout to substitute people.
Oh, yeah.
You
I've done that before. I've had kids going, Coach, I want to play. I was like, I got you. Don't worry. Dalton in as well.
Or worse yet, you got one kid out there who's doing the team so much harm, you're like, okay. Yeah. You gotta do that. And so far, no harm really has been done by any Apple Valley Eagle. They find themselves up by a very comfortable 35. This is where a severe miracle would need to happen if Omaha Central would happen to overcome that deficit. But this wasn't the Chicago Fire, like you said. This wasn't total domination. This was a slow burn.
Yep.
They built it slowly, and Omaha fought most of the way. Honestly, for a 9 o'clock in the morning game, kind of ugly. But, they did what they needed to.
They did what they could. And, and Apple Valley, this isn't an Apple Valley type of game. And a fade top by Jordan Rydick. Who coming in with the fade? I could never pull that off. I'm just going to put that out there.
Sure you
could. I appreciate that. Offensive rebound, a jump ball.
Do not adjust your set. It's not kid and play.
No, we did not go back in the DeLorean back to 1992.
That's so funny that you would say that on the way here. They were talking about the things in the Back to the Future movie because this is the year, 2015.
They got to have about 14 remakes of Jaws.
Yep.
The Cubs need to win the World Series this year.
Right.
3-point ball. Good.
Nice.
Ooh, Ricky McCants. Oh, no. Ricky McCants. You got to bring in a McCants into the target center again.
Yeah, you do. A third one.
A third one, yeah, because we had Rashonda in here.
That's right.
I like
the Omaha guys are taking each other out. Guys, you got
to play for your own team. Now, shot opportunity for Dyshawn Neal.
He finishes. He says, Coach, told you you should have put me in earlier.
They put Patrick Carter in Dyshawn Neal's number. 3-point ball. Ooh, you missed the wrong side. You hit the wrong side of the net, son. And there's your horn. 79-50 is your final. The Apple Valley Eagles with the win improved to 13-1. With the loss, the Omaha Central Eagles dropped to 8-3. We're going to come back and wrap up this game as we take a look at a couple of small last moves. We're going to come back and wrap up this game after a short break. You are watching the 2015 Minnesota Timberwolves Shootout on SchoolSpaceMedia.tv.
You're watching the 2015 Timberwolves Shootout, brought to you by School Space Media and Stream Powered Productions. This game is brought to you in part by Anoka Ramsey Community College and Anoka Technical. It's more than a college. It's a community dedicated to your success. And by The Urgency, with locations in Eagan, Woodbury, and Magnus Heights. They'll have you in fast and home soon. Go to the Urgency Room. The post-game show is coming up next.
Who cares what it holds if it can't hold your gaze? Who cares how tight it can turn if it can't turn heads? Who cares how capable it is if it's incapable of creating a reaction? Any SUV can move something, but can it move you? Introducing the first ever Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Once you go beyond utility, there's no going back.
Get the best values at Village Chevrolet. Village Chevrolet has the largest selection of the new 2015 Tahoe and Suburban models in the Twin Cities. Visit villagechev.com. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Who cares what it holds if it can't hold your gaze? Who cares how tight it can turn if it can't turn heads? Who cares how capable it is if it's incapable of creating a reaction? Any SUV can move something, but can it move you? Introducing the first ever Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Once you go beyond utility, there's no going back.
And we welcome you back into the Target Center here, 600 First Avenue North in downtown Minneapolis. Ridiculously cold outside, but a hot day for basketball. I'm Webster Ford, alongside Lisl von Steinbergs, and a great game in a sense, just because we had high school players playing on a professional basketball floor, but a much more dominant game for the Minnesota squad this year. Now Apple Valley running their winning streak on the Target Center floor at the Minnesota Timberwolves Shootout to 4 straight years, as they won the last few years. They won today 79-49 and going away. And now we'll cut now to Don Ackerman, who had a chance to catch up with the player on the sidelines.
I just stared at.
Yeah, how'd you handle this early morning? It seemed to affect the other team more.
It's certainly different for us. We got to school at 7:30, got on the bus at 7:45, and here we were. It's a good experience for us. If we're able to get into the state tournament, there's a possibility of us playing at 10 o'clock. So this is something to look back on and have something to go on of some timelines and stuff. But for the kids, it's kind of like playing traveling basketball, playing that early game, and we were really sharp this morning, and it helped us. We didn't play last night, so we played Thursday night, so we were able to rest yesterday and be really good today.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Jared.
We had high school players. Well, thank you, Don. We're talking to one of the co-players of the game, Gary Trent Jr., and we were talking a little bit during a break, Lisl, that the other co-player of the game, probably Brock Bertram, eh?
Brock really showed some emotion out there, and he's definitely getting his feet set and growing as a player quite a bit.
Most certainly. And again, Apple Valley wins it today, 79-49, a 30-point win for them. 79-49 win for them, and again, with the win, they go to 13-1. Of course, this was a non-conference matchup. Heck, it was a non-state matchup, so their South Suburban Conference record remains unblemished, as well does the district record for Omaha Central, but with the loss, they go to 8-3. Next up, for the Apple Valley Eagles, they'll be playing on Tuesday, so they'll get a chance to get back into conference play then. This has been Game 1 of the 2015 Timberwolves Shootout, brought to you by SchoolSpaceMedia.tv and Stream Powered Productions. Don't forget that you can watch this game online whenever you feel like it at SchoolSpaceMedia.tv, or you can order the game on DVD at stream-powered.com. On behalf of Lisl von Steinbergs, Don Ackerman, I'm Webster Ford. I'd like to thank you and thank all of our sponsors: Anoka Ramsey Community College, Anoka Technical, the Urgency Room with locations in Eagan, Woodbury, and Vadnais Heights, and Minnesota Prep Spotlight, which is on Saturdays at 11 p.m. on 45 TV. Again, my name's Webster Ford. For all of us here today, thank you so much for watching.